Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of.
All right, Andrea, so for everyone out there that is struggling to budget and manage their money, is there like some sort of blueprint or guide to managing your money?
Absolutely. Good question. I think that's the key part of starting, when you're looking to become financially independent, whether you make a lot of money or you don't, budgeting, and why is budgeting so important? It's your accountability to your success. If you really want to be, accountable for your dollar, you have to know, okay, where's everything going every single month? Not sometimes, but all the times. Because if you can now account for where every dollar is going, you literally can turn your bills on auto, because you know what you'll have left over every month and what bills you have to pay every month, which will allow you to be in a place where you have a peace of mind every month. Why? Because you're accounting for every single dollar. So I believe why money is such a touchy subject is because, people are afraid to see what's left over when they're done doing all the spending, right? And I believe it will be easier if they do the budgeting so that they can limit the spending, which will allow them to be able to see more money. So now that they can do more with more money, because now they're actually seeing the money because they know exactly where the money is going. So I think that's key. If most individuals can just start there, because wealthy people have to budget, because if they don't budget, they run out of money. So how is it that people with no money don't budget, but the wealthy with money do budget?
All right, Andrea, so when it comes to money, we all had beliefs in the past. What are like 2 to 3 beliefs that you've had that you currently have changed in your present life?
Ooh. So being born and raised in Jamaica, there are a lot of things you heard about money. And that I believe that comes with the environment we're in. So, going through the place of being born in Jamaica was like mainly, people don't have it. Poverty, that's all you see, that's all you hear. Coming to America, that changed a lot. Because for me, you used to hear, money is evil. And that's because you had people who didn't understand money do bad with money. So you do see good people with money. You also do see evil people with money, because you have to think about it. Money doesn't talk, money doesn't walk. It's the individuals that acquire the money, because money just exposes you for who you are once you acquire it. So I took away that mentality of, money is evil. You shouldn't love money. I love money because of what it's able to help me do for those that are in need. So money is not evil. It's just the people who don't understand themselves when they receive money. Now money becomes evil because the money lands into the hands of someone who's already evil before acquiring the funds. Number 2, money only flows to rich people. Well, how did they become rich? What did they do? The sacrifices. What were the sacrifices? What were the things that they do to acquire, the riches? So for me, instead of complaining about money flowing to one side of the equation, I find a way to allow myself to get a piece. And by getting a piece, I'm able to make more, which was now increase my knowledge about more money so I can get into the right side of the quadrant rather than staying on the left side. So the flow of thinking that money always flowed to those who are already born into it is not true, because it had to come from somewhere. And regardless of where it comes from, I've taken it up on myself to study the greats. What do they do? How do they do it? What's their mindset behind it? Because we are all created equally, right? But the only thing that separates us is what we decide to keep and what we decide to know more of, which is really important. So I decided to let that mentality go and allow myself to flow into those spaces, because I believe I can be in those spaces too when it comes to money. So that's key. And one last one, which is so important, is that money doesn't grow on a tree, right? But think about it. Nothing is too expensive in life. We just don't make enough money, right? Because money comes down to value. And if you bring value, you attract money. And by that, there's no limitations on money. So the question I always ask people when it comes to money is literally look at the people who are bringing value and ask again if money's grown on tree, because those people make a lot of money, and they make a lot of money because of the value they bring. So there's no lacking of money because money is printed. So it's like you could get more money than there are trees. Why? Based upon the value you bring. Think about the billionaires, right? Think about how many trees will be equivalent to the kind of income that they have, if you think about it. But if you have the mindset that money doesn't grow on tree, or there's not an abundance of it, you'll never have it. So you got to think about money as a form of value, and the more value, the more money. So there's no lack of, if you understand the flow of money.
So on the path to financial independence, do you have a few strategies for all of us for building wealth?
Yeah. Good one. I'm going to share some that I personally use myself, which is really important. A lot of times we can stay where we are and expect to grow, but that's really insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting change. So one of the key things that I had to do was I had to find a way to understand how to increase the difference between my income and my expenses, because it doesn't matter my income if my expenses are higher than what I'm able to save. So for example, there were things I was looking at, whereas if my car payment was more than what I was saving, that would be something I would look to eliminate. So I always share, in order for you to build wealth, find a way to increase your income so that your expenses don't eat up everything you bring in every month. And a salary is hard, for you to be able to save on, which is why you need a cash flow. So that's one thing that's really important. Find a way to pay off your debt, bad debt, because not every debt is bad. So if you can find a way to pay off your debt, starting with the highest interest rate, knock that off really quick, that will allow you to have more money to do what? To save, right? So when you, what is it? 75% of Americans are in debt, some form of debt. So imagine how much money they would be able to save, because 34.5% of people's income goes back out in interest. So what if that was literally money they were saving to build wealth so that they can buy properties and invest? So debt is eating up majority of our income. So one of the easiest strategies I would say is you find a way to, increase your income and lower expenses. Also setting aside emergency. One of the key thing here that can wipe out anybody's life savings or their assets, is emergency. You get sick, right? You're disabled. You can't do anything. Then you have to ask yourself, how long can you live with your savings before it's completely depleted? And now when you're over the illness or whatever you are going through, you're starting back from square one. Now you got to ask yourself, do I have that energy again to build it? So just have some form of strategy or plan in place to make sure it's there for emergency. So when life does happen, boom, autopilot turns on and it can take care of you. And last but not least is seek higher, income. Seek higher income, but also key is finding a mentor. Seeking higher income. Once you seek higher income, you're gonna get around different people with different mindsets that will be able to help you truly understand how to acquire wealth at your level, because everybody has different levels when it comes to this game. So.